Tasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Shakshurmritam Yena Tasme Shri Gurave Namaha Gaurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaye Tadaraye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namaha. Today we are going to speak about Vedanta Sutra, second chapter. We completed the first chapter and this is like an introduction to the second chapter. In the first chapter, Srila Vyasadeva, Badarayan, his name, was speaking about the creation of the world as a manifestation, as a way to know Brahman. Brahman meaning the Supreme Lord, the Supreme God, the Absolute Truth. And in the first chapter, he has described all the characteristics of that Brahman. He has so many different qualities. Actually, his name can be Bhagavan because he has so many qualities. That's why Srila Jiva Goswami didn't make a Brahma Sandarbha. He wanted to discuss this verse, Vadanti tat tattvavidas tattvam yajnana madvayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavaniti shabdyate, that Advaya Jnana Tattva can be understood as being Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan. So he has in his Tattva Sandarbha described the whole of the this verse, which appears in the Bhagavatam, first canto, and then he has Bhagavat Sandarbha, Paramatma Sandarbha, Krishna Sandarbha. So there's no Brahma Sandarbha because he said that Brahma means Bhagavan without qualities. Simple. So Bhagavat Sandarbha means Bhagavan, then Paramatma, then Krishna Sandarbha. So in this way, we have understood everything pertaining to that Brahman. Now in the second chapter, this is called Avirodha, meaning all the wrong conclusion found in smritis, books that are not in accordance with Shruti. And this is this Sat Sandarbha, for example. There are 6 philosophical systems in India. They're usually 2 by 2. Sankhya Yoga, Sankhya and Yoga. This is the first couple. Then Nyaya Vaisheshika, then second. Then the 2 Mimamsa, Purva Mimamsa, which is also sometimes called Karma Mimamsa, and Uttara Mimamsa. This is called Vedanta. So all those different schools are considered Brahmanical. They're not necessarily Vedic. They don't always accept Veda, but they are close to Veda. And they rely on Smriti. And then there are others who also have Smriti in India, and they are refuted also in the second chapter. So the second chapter refute the conclusion of atheistic Sankhya, Yoga, then Nyaya Vaisheshika, sometime a little bit of Purva Mimamsa. Of course it doesn't refute Vedanta because it is Vedanta Darshan. But some Acharya, Vaishnava Acharya says that Badarayan Srila Vyasadeva is also refuting some of the wrong conclusion of Advaita Vedanta. But then there's other schools which are non-Vedic, like the Buddhist, 4 kinds of schools of Buddhists. We'll see this another time. Then the Jain, the Charvaka, those who are materialist, the Shivaite, those who worship Shiva, the Shaktas, those who worship the goddess Shakti. All of them have Smriti Shastra. So here in the second chapter, the refutation of all Smriti Shastra is refutation of those Smritis who are not agreeing with the Shruti. The rule, actually, the rule of understanding what is bona fide and what is not bona fide is when you have a difference between Shruti. What is Shruti? It means the four Veda, Rig, Sama, Atharva, Yajur Veda, then the Brahmanas who explain the Veda, then the Upanishad. You have also Aranyaka, but Upanishad, they are called Vedanta. Upanishad are called Vedanta. They are at the end, Anta of Veda. And so those are called Shruti. And Smriti means Purana, Itihasa such as Mahabharata, Ramayana, Pancharatra literature. Those are called Smriti Shastra. When the Smriti text doesn't agree with the Shruti text, the rule of thumb is to reject the Smriti. Because Shruti should always have the preference. Shruti means what has been heard. How mantra have been heard, this Shabda Brahma, how was it heard? Through the mind, the meditation of the sages, the rishi. They heard transcendental sound vibration. Then they spoke it, and they were heard from the disciple. And people have such sharp memories in past days that they will memorize the whole Veda, at least one branch of the Veda. They will not write it down. This writing down is just recent. And Smriti means from remembrance. So this based on Shruti, and there are different other explanations. So Sankhya is one of the first of the school of or Smriti, which is challenged by Vedanta. Already in the last section, the fourth part of first chapter of Vedanta Sutra, many verses, many sutra were against this atheistic Sankhya. And in the beginning of the second chapter, again Sankhya. Because Sankhya summarized all of this different kind of concept. Even Buddhists borrow many things from Sankhya and also yoga. So Sankhya is like the basic. So some of you may not know, because they think that when we speak of Sankhya, it means Kapila Dev in Srimad Bhagavatam. Yes, this is the real Sankhya. But there's also an atheistic Sankhya by another Kapila Dev, who is like an atheist. In the Vedanta Sutra, Srila Baladev Vidyabhushana Prabhu is explaining there are two Kapila Dev. Just like there are two Buddhas also. Sometimes some devotees say there's two Shukadev, also one Shukadev who got married and was teaching impersonal Mayavad philosophy. Because Shankaracharya, his Sampradaya, the original speaker is Shukadev. So anyway, this is a different matter. But the important thing is that atheistic Sankhya is saying there's two principles. Purusha and Prakriti. Purusha is not God. According to atheistic Sankhya, the Purusha is the individual Jiva, what we call the Atma. And this individual Jiva is looking at Prakriti, and it's like this myth of Narcissus. I don't know if you know the mythology. There's a very beautiful, handsome man. A goddess is in love with that man, but he doesn't want his totally free. So she cursed him. And she cursed him, you are so handsome, you're going to be falling in love with yourself. And at one point he's drinking water and he watches his faces in water and he falls in love with himself. And this is how the Sankhya works. The Purusha is completely free. The Jiva is completely free but looks at Prakriti. And Prakriti is dormant. But once she's looked upon by the Jiva, she becomes awake, and she unwraps the Purusha, she covers him with the material body, and then he becomes entrapped, and then he goes from one body to the next. This idea of reincarnation and rebirth and karma is also in the atheistic Sankhya. Why is it called atheistic? Because there is no God in control, and there's no God that can save you. It's only through this jnana, this understanding that you are not this body, you are pure spirit soul, then you understand that Prakriti has nothing to do with you. Then you become detached and you attain Kevalya, meaning isolation. You become a spiritual entity, completely aloof. And so in atheistic Sankhya there are many different individual Purusha, but they are not in touch with any one of them, and there's no supreme God. So this is what the Vedanta is condemning, because Srimad Bhagavatam, as a natural commentary of Vedanta Sutra, is saying Sankhya is appearing many times also in Srimad Bhagavatam. It's appearing especially with the appearance of Kapila teaching Sankhya. But what kind of Sankhya is he teaching? A theistic Sankhya, because the Purusha in question that agitate material nature, who looks at material nature, is called Mahapurusha. This is Mahavishnu. He's the one who activates and projects through his vision all the jiva into the matter. And he's the one who is also going to help them to be free from this Prakriti Maya, because this is also a little bit like Sankhya's in the Bhagavatam is touched with Vedanta and also with Bhakti. Srila Kapila Dev is teaching Nirguna Bhakti. He's saying that actually Bhakti can be tinged with three modes of nature. You can practice Bhakti in a mode of passion, you can practice Bhakti in a mode of ignorance. When you practice Bhakti in a mode of ignorance, it means that you don't recognize other Vaishnavas. You think only your little group is the only one that is the bona fide, and you are very much fanatical and violent towards others. This is called tamasic bhakti. And rajasic bhakti means you practicing bhakti in order to get a position. You want to be a GBC or a guru. I'm saying this because we all know what that means. But this is the mode of, and I'm not saying that those who are in this position, they're necessarily in a mode of passion. But if you are eager to have this kind of position, yes, this is the mode of passion. And nirguna, and you also have bhakti in sattva, meaning you want to be peaceful, shanti, everything is cool. And this is called sattvic bhakti. And nirguna bhakti means above the three modes of nature. This is when you become free, detached from material nature, and you absorb in para-bhakti, this superior bhakti. Anyway, this is Kapila Dev in Srimad Bhagavatam. But this false Kapila who preach atheistic Sankhya is very much akin to science, modern science. Of course, they're not saying there's a spirit soul called Purusha who can be liberated from this cycle of birth and death. They are very much materialistic. They think that this life is only one life, and then you die and become nothingness. But it's the same thing. They think everything comes from life. From life comes from matter. And so this atheistic Sankhya and the material science was very much like fought by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada, he was very, very strong preacher. Every time there was a wrong philosophy, he will defeat that philosophy. And sometimes very influential people will come in his room to discuss so many different things, Buddhism and then Mayavadi and Christianity and so many different visions, and he will always be very strong to establish proper Siddhanta. He was not compromising. This actually is in the line of Srila Madhvacharya. Madhvacharya, he was a very strong preacher. Mayavadi, they were afraid of him. He was very strong physically, but very strong also in Siddhanta. And he will smash all the arguments. And all his disciples were also on the same level. Till today, people are afraid of Mayavad. They are afraid. Mayavad are afraid of the Dvaita Vada, the followers of Madhvacharya. Sometimes they put debates and they have to say, okay, we're going to give you money. You come and you can win a big bunch of money if you can defeat us, they say, those followers of Madhva. And because Mayavadi, they are afraid of debating. They know they're going to lose. So very fierce, very strong Siddhanta. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada, our Parama Guru, he was also very strong. He was also very staunch like this. No compromising. He will preach the truth. Even if people will become angry, he will preach the truth. And Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Goswami Maharaj also, he was known as Simha Guru. All those gurus are called Simha Guru. My spiritual master Srila Prabhupada is Simha Guru. Then my Parama Gurudev is Simha Guru. Then also Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Goswami Maharaj, my dear spiritual uncle, is also Simha Guru. No compromising. They will smash all of the wrong philosophies of Mayavad and of atheism and everything. They will be uncompromising. And to some people, it may seem like it is not nice. They are not cool. They are very angry people. They are not accepting others. This has nothing to do with it. Why were they doing this? Because they wanted their disciple to understand what is Siddhanta, what is the proper conclusion, philosophical conclusion. Of course, we're not going to be all brainwashed and fanatical and have the same vision as those great souls. But the idea is that with proper Siddhanta, you can clear your mind of wrong conclusion. You will not be attracted to Christianity. You will not be attracted to Buddhism. You will not be attracted to this therapy that can cure every kind of disease and are promoted as better than Bhakti. You will not be attracted by New Age philosophy. You will not be attracted by any kind. No confusion. Shiva, Vishnu, Shakta, no. Only Radha, Krishna, Chaitanya, Mahaprabhu. And not out of sheer fanaticism, yes, we'll believe this and we're going to destroy them. No. Because you understand through Siddhanta. Because you understand through logic and knowing all the Shastric conclusion. This is the way that Srimad Bhagavatam is working. This is the way how Vedanta Sutra is working. This is the way our Acharya, all of our Acharyas, our Gurudev, and Srila Prabhupada, and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. This is the way to present the truth. So Sankhya Smriti is contradicting all the other Smritis. One of the Sutra is saying if we accept this kind of Smriti, that means all the other Smritis, literature, are wrong. Manu Smriti, for example, this is one of the main Smriti for Smartha Brahmana. Why they call Smartha? Because Smartha means they follow Smriti. What kind of Smriti are they following? They're following Manu Samhita or Manu Smriti. Manu Smriti, in the very beginning of the book, is saying in the beginning, the Lord wanted to become many and have all these different creatures created. So he lay down in the water, and his name became Narayana. Narayan. Ayana, laying down, Nara, water. And same thing it says in the Mahabharata. So therefore it is contradicting. Sankhya Smriti is saying that Prakriti is completely independent. And the individual Jiva is making this Prakriti alive or working by its own will. But no, the Smritis are saying what the Shrutis are saying. Because in the Veda, in Upanishad, it is saying in the beginning there was one Lord only, one Atma only, and he wanted to become many. Eko Bahusyam. This Eka wanted to become many. And this Eka is Narayan, Hari. He's the Lord, the Supreme Lord. So this is the Siddhanta. And this is what, and lifeless Pradhan, because, before Prakriti manifests, it is called Pradhan. Pradhan means unmanifested. Everything is one big blob. And then there's no differentiation. And when it is activated by the looks of Mahavishnu, then everything takes place. This Sankhya we accept, no problem. Just like yoga also is accepted, no problem. Every chapter of Bhagavad Gita is called yoga, karma yoga and nishkama karma yoga and jnana yoga, bhakti yoga, so many different kind of yoga. And so there's no contradiction. So yoga also is rejected by the same token. We will speak next time about yoga and other kind of different schools which are in the same line as Sankhya. But this is the summary of the introduction of the second chapter of Vedanta Sutra. Vanchakalpa tarubhyacha kripa sindhu bhyaivacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.